This is the Radii Talladega 150 at the Talladega Superspeedway, the sixth race of the 2010 ARLA Elite Series season. Jack Lucas Sampson won the pole in his number 10 Greaseburger Raptor. Sampson is trying to redeem himself this week after a rather embarrassing crash at Memphis. This is something we haven't seen all year, the Team Bird cars starting the race. Toby Armstrong and Paul Lyons normally pull their cars in during the pace laps and collect last place money, but this week they got the go-ahead to run the full race. Talladega is kind of a special place for team owner John Burr. It's the site of his only ARLA Elite Series victory, which he got in 1996, barely beating Chuck Johans to the finish. This is Michael Carter in the 109 Tundra racing car, making his first ARLA Elite Series start. He takes the lead from Jack Lucas Sampson, but his teammate Jason Teller in the 09 wants a piece of the action. The 09 dives onto the apron, but he can't make it stick. The yellow line rule was lifted this week, but for the tri-oval only, and Michael Carter keeps the lead. Olivier Martinez in the 5 has not qualified for a race since Daytona. However, he snagged the last transfer spot in the qualifier and now is making the most of this opportunity, taking the 5th spot from his teammate Milano Rossini. Packer Carroll and Bobby Porto are sporting special schemes this week. Carroll, for these next two races, will carry sponsorship from ZombieBusters.com, and Porto, who is running right in front of him, is sporting Amish Wireless colors. It's been a while since we've seen Porto in anything other than a black Mortar car. The first caution flew in lap 8. Ricky Gonzalez drives right into the 159 of Harry Nola going into turn 3. The 9 bounces into the 19 of Ali Riggs, and collecting the 58 of Luis Tellez in the process. Gonzalez was called to the hauler for this little maneuver. Riggs was, as always, not happy with him, shouting several obscenities over her radio. Todd Stader would lead on the restart with his teammate Rachel Gonzalez right behind him. Rachel is the daughter of Ricky Gonzalez, and she has been considerably less reckless than her father this year. A couple laps later, Dale Underwood took over the top spot with Toby Armstrong right behind him. It's good to see Armstrong showing what he really can do instead of just marking. The 165 car driven by Reed Weber Jr. finally gets a primary sponsor this week. Weber will be carrying sponsorship from Dogfather's Bar and Grill, a restaurant owned by his teammate Shane Lake. And here is Lake in the 155 at the business end of the field, getting a push from Ricky Navarro right by the 01 of Lucas Hunter. But then Navarro decides to dislodge Shane Lake from the lead. This will also put Joseph Howard and I believe that's Amy Harrison in the 102 in position to get by the 155 as well. Scary moment for D.G. Daniels in the 78, making his second start of the year. Dale Underwood gets into him coming into turn 3. He almost creates a massive accident in the fashion of Ricky Gonzalez on lap 8. Brenda Riggs dropped a cylinder after the restart and fell way off the pace. Ali Riggs was also way off the pace due to her damage, and when the field came up to lap her, she decided to hold them up. Her teammate Ricky Navarro and Toby Armstrong were the only cars to get away immediately. Shane Lake, D.J. Daniels, and Scott Morales would follow. Well, not really. Scott Morales gets held up behind the 19. Armstrong and Navarro enjoyed a very nice lead for a couple of laps, but they decided to go side by side, which broke their draft, allowing the rest of the field, led by Dale Underwood, to catch right up. Second caution flew in lap 25. DJ Daniels has a mechanical problem and tries to get his car onto the apron. However, he is going to be tagged by Jeb Klinger in the 66 and pushed up into the wall. Klinger, after he runs into the 78, is going to be hit from behind by Siju Dejao in the 37, and both cars go spinning. Daniels would go out of the race. Everybody came into the pits during this caution, and there were a few notable collisions. Ali Riggs and Reed Weber Jr. get together trying to come into the pits, and Brenda Riggs runs into the 71 of Packer Carroll. Dale Underwood in the 03 is going to run into Scott Morales in the 76 as Morales tries to exit his pit. And then Packer Carroll, in an attempt to get into his pit stall, runs into the 01 of Lucas Hunter. Only one driver would be called to the hauler in this whole mess, and that driver was Ali Riggs for not using her brake pedal well enough. On the restart, Dale Underwood and Scott Morales were running first and second despite running into each other in the pits. Shortly after the restart, Jason Bates in the 51 blows his engine coming into turn 3. He holds up Kevin Monroe in the 63. Tough break for Jason Bates, though this wasn't really a surprise. Both of his part-time teammates, Tyson Lawton-Schauger and Serena Vaquero, experienced mechanical problems in the qualifying race. The third caution flew on lap 31. Wesley Savage tags Michael Carter coming off of turn 4 and triggers a big mess. Harry Nola and Joey Harrison go around. Kurt Walker gets clobbered by the 46 of Lake Rowe. Reed Weber Jr. runs into the 6 of Wesley Savage. I saw Rachel Gonzalez in the 15 with some heavy damage. Here is Legruel in the 46. The accident starts in front of him. He tries to dive onto the apron, but he doesn't move far enough to the inside. He goes spinning through the tri-oval grass. And here comes Allie Riggs. She runs into the 46 at almost 190 miles an hour, luckily not in the driver's door. Gruel would climb out of that 46 car. There is Kurt Walker driving away, despite being clobbered by the 46. Here is Scott Morales. He was actually coming to the pits when this whole mess started. He gets hit by Rachel Gonzalez in the 15, and he goes for a nice trip through the tri-oval grass. One more look at this wreck, focusing on Kurt Walker. He has nowhere to go. Hits the 6 of Savage and goes spinning, and just gets hammered by the 46 and goes for several spins. I have no idea how he managed to drive that car away, but he did. The entrance to the tri-oval was completely littered with debris, so the race was red flagged for about 15 minutes. Thankfully, everybody involved was okay. Jason Teller in the 09 led on the restart, with Lucas Hunter in the 01 right behind him, though there is Jafali Anamija in the 139 trying to take second from Hunter. Olivier Martinez would then assume the lead, trying to redeem himself after failing to qualify every single race after Daytona. He's getting a nice push from Amy Harrison in the 102. Dale Underwood runs third, and fourth was Leslie Riggs, last week's winner, who also won this race last year. A few laps later, Jason Teller gets a push from Martinez and works his way to the inside of the 102. However, he has a bit of a mechanical problem and takes his car to the pit lane. I'm not sure if Martinez appreciated that, but nonetheless, tough break for Teller and Tundra Racing. They have yet to have a good run this season. Amy Harrison enjoyed a nice lead for a while, but then she would be chased down by Joseph Howard in the 17, followed by Ricky Navarro in the 34. However, Harrison blocks the low line, so Howard can't make any serious attempts for the lead right now. Kevin Monroe in the 63 blows up coming down the back straightaway. That's the second M&J Racing car that has had a mechanical problem today, the other one being Brenda Riggs with her lost cylinder. The M&J cars also had a lot of problems at Loudon, where Monroe's car died on him, as well as Taylor Brillen blowing her engine. Back up front, Toby Armstrong takes the lead from Amy Harrison, demonstrating the possibility that a start-and-bar car could win today. Armstrong is running his first season in the Elite Series in 4 years. He previously drove the 33 car for Sweeney Sport before Alex Carson took over that ride. A debris caution flew with 10 laps to go just before the field put Brenda Riggs and Joey Harrison a lap down. Jafali Anamija led on the restart with Lucas Hunter once again starting second. He shoots to the outside hoping to make something work up there, but it doesn't. Olivier Martinez in the 5 got by Hunter, and coming into the tri-oval, he shoots to the inside of the 139 and takes the lead. You probably saw Joseph Howard trying to make a move on the 5, but he couldn't make it stick on the apron. Howard would try once again on the following lap, and once again he has to lift out of the throttle on the apron, allowing Martinez to lead one more lap. The 17 is now facing heavy pressure from the 34 of Ricky Navarro, who has not won a race since Daytona in 2005. With just 2 laps to go, Olivier Martinez tightens up going into turn 3, opening up the door for Joseph Howard and the rest of the field. Howard quickly gets to the inside, followed by Ricky Navarro and his teammate Sean Donnelly in the 08. Jafali Anamija runs 5th. He did a very good job at getting back in the line. Navarro gets to the inside of Howard coming through the tri-oval. He wants the lead for himself. Howard leads the lap, but Navarro has the position going into turn 1. Here comes the 139 making a charge, but the Riggs cars have been very strong for these past couple of weeks. Navarro has not won since 2005. Donnelly, Anamija, and Jack Lucas Sampson, who is running 4th, are still looking for their first wins. Coming into turn 3, Navarro tries to shut the door on Donnelly, but he tightens up coming into the corner. Donnelly gets a run with Anamija right behind him. Andy Pearson in the 2 dislodges Sampson from the 4th spot. Coming into the tri-oval, Donnelly decides not to risk slowing down by diving onto the apron. Anamija goes for it at the line. It is Sean Donnelly taking his first ARLA Elite Series victory, making this the 3rd week in a row that a Riggs car has won. And now for your top 5, Sean Donnelly actually did not get that 08 car solely because of his performance at tryouts. In fact, he ran midfield for the most part, but team owner Brenda Riggs decided that he and the team would generate the best chemistry. Jafali Anamija comes within about 6 feet of grabbing his first win. Andy Pearson finishes third. Ricky Navarro had been booted from that 34 car at this point last year. He comes back to finish fourth. And Shane Lake rounds out the top 5. The pressure is probably off of Lake since he doesn't own that 155 car. He had a rather abysmal performance as an owner-driver last year. And now for the top 5 in points. Bobby Porto hangs on to first. Andy Pearson moves up to second. Kevin Monroe has quite a bit of ground to make up. He's 41 points back, but he still hangs on to third despite blowing his engine. Scott Morales has not run very well these past few weeks, but he still hangs on to fourth, while 1 point behind Monroe. And Jason Bates also blew his engine today, but he runs fifth.